Hello there. I'm Gary Peter Carlson, the expert on souls. And I'm with Farmer John of the Light, my close friend and associate. And first, I'm going to talk about how reptilian souls come to be. We got a group of people, I'm told, but I don't know for sure, around 4 million people that have human bodies, human DNA, just like us, but they have reptilian souls. And they're in positions of power to control our world. And how they initially come to be is they're on the soul plane and they're choosing to incarnate. And they basically incarnate in an egg that a reptilian is going to lay or whatever. That's going to produce their young. And they choose, they're asked if they want to pick this egg that'll be incarnated in a human body. And they pick that. So now the egg's laid, and they grow a human clone. I don't know exactly how they grow the clones. They do it in tanks somehow, and they grow it to the correct age they want it to be, an adult or a child or whatever. I think they mostly pick adults, and there are certain classes of how good they can make the clones. But let's say they make their very best clone that's supposed to be able to live for around 50 years or so and could have children or create children if it's the male. Clones are not alive until soul's added. So it's what they do is they take a reptilian egg and they smash it somehow, and the soul leaves, and they capture the soul with magnetic confinement. And then they have a way, I don't know exactly how, but they can release the soul to incarnate in the clone that they're picking. And from what I know, there's 4 different kinds of reptilians that have a high population on Earth. There may be more, but there's 4 main kinds. Most are draconians, and they control the world, and mainly total control on the West and Northern Europe and the Five Eye countries, which United States, Canada, England, Australia, New Zealand. And they control a few countries in South America and Africa. And these clones grow up with the reptilian soul, and they look just like another human being. And the rule is in our universe, when a female has children, the children will always get a soul from the same group that the mother's soul in. So if the mother has a draconian soul, the children will have draconian souls, regardless of what kind of soul the father has. Father could have a human soul or a reptilian soul or some other soul from some other group. The way it is in our universe is any third density soul can incarnate in any third density body. So there's all different beings on all different planets. And if it was set up properly, a soul from another group could incarnate in any group. But generally, the kind of souls for that being, humans have mostly human souls and so forth. Now, they do have star seeds are here and wanderers are here, but their souls are modified to be human. So if they have children, the children will have human souls. But the reptilian souls aren't modified. So if they have children, if the mother with a reptilian soul has children, the children will get a reptilian soul of whatever breed. They also have lizards, and they control some of the countries in South America, some in Africa, and a lot in South America, and maybe some of the Central American countries. And they control a lot of small countries that are islands all over the place. You can go on my website, icheckyoursoul.com, and and you can see which country has which kind of souls. That's my website. You go to the page who's in power, and you can see which kind of reptilian is in whatever country. You have something to add, John?
Absolutely. It's an honor to talk to the world's expert on souls and spiritual research. You said a lot in about the last 6 or 7 minutes, and I don't know if it's information through a fire hose, but I mean what I hope people are getting from your explanation is that there are a lot of different extraterrestrial ETs on Earth, in Earth, and around Earth, in addition to humanity. And these ETs, not just necessarily reptilians, have found a way to infiltrate into humanity, into human bodies. So we don't just have humanity, which most people think, incarnated in human bodies. We actually have other extraterrestrial races, including various races of reptilians who have also incarnated into human bodies and are walking around among us, working among us, mostly in high positions of power and leadership and authority. And they're managing our governments and our corporations and our organizations, and they're not human, although they look human.
Yes, I agree. And I can find out who has a reptilian soul by dowsing. And there's also a way to look at someone's aura. And if they have a human soul, they'll have a colorful aura. And if they have a soul that doesn't have empathy, which is the reptilians, insects, and spider people, they have souls without empathy. Their aura will be different.
So let me ask you a question. So you've just explained how reptilians come to incarnate into human bodies. It sounds like a ridiculously important issue. Why is this issue so important to you, and why are you trying to get that information out to the world?
Because we have about 4 million reptilians in human bodies controlling our world, and hardly anyone else understands what's going on. They see all these evil people in government, and they're doing horrible, evil things against humanity, and people just don't have a clue to why this is happening. They think, why are our leaders evil? And why are they doing these things that against humanity? I mean, like our government is sending all kinds of money to Ukraine to keep a war going that they're going to lose, probably. Why are they sending all this money to Israel that's genociding the Palestinians and don't
Right,
care
and this
about
goes
their neighbors?
right, and this goes back hundreds of years. So you're talking about all of the evil kinds of things that people have witnessed over not just decades but centuries, right? Wars, all the different kinds of wars and all the problems that the criminality and the injustice and the genocide that people have witnessed over the last few hundred years. You're saying that this is all the responsibility of non-humans who have incarnated into human bodies?
Yes, I claim that. I claim that the human souls are high quality, good people, and they wouldn't have all these wars, and there wouldn't be poverty and sickness and the stuff that's going on. There wouldn't be a few people that have all kinds of money, and the rest of the people are suffering and have hardly anything, which is the case in our world. Not so much in the United States, maybe, and maybe in some European countries, but other countries like in Africa and Asia and South America, there's much, much more injustice.
So what you're saying is we've got to alert humanity. We've got to tell the world the truth of the reality we're living in on our planet, which really no one understands.
Right.
Very, very few people understand. And you're saying that until they do, they're literally living blind to all of this, and it's just going to continue and go on, and the nightmare will continue.
Right. We must get them out of power. There's a couple ways we can get them out of power. The humans just below them have to rise up and arrest them or execute them and take them out of power somehow. And then we're supposed to have what I call planetary ascension, which is supposed to come up really soon. And that is, the world right now is in third density, the fourth dimension. A lot of writers and other people are saying the third dimension, but I say they're wrong. The dimensions are length, height, and width, and a component of consciousness. And that component of consciousness gives us a connection to the Creator and the higher spirits that most people are using with these spiritual services and things like that. Component of consciousness is required. But our solar system will move to the fourth density, the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is a component of time, but in each density, matter and life are expressed differently. But from what I hear, third density and fourth density are very similar. We'll have, I think the people, when people move over from third density to fourth density, their bodies will stay about the same, but half the kinds of DNA won't be around anymore. Only souls that have empathy for others can go in fourth density.
Well, so why did you bring that up just now? The issue of near planetary ascension. Are you suggesting that that could solve our reptilian problem of ETs incarnating in human bodies? That would likely solve that problem?
It would, because they have souls that don't have empathy, and souls without empathy can't go in fourth density. So all the life forms that have a soul without empathy, all living things must have a soul to be alive. There's no such things as soulless people. Even bacteria has a soul.
Right.
And then there's like 18 lines of DNA, and 9 of them get a soul with empathy, and 9 of them get a soul without empathy. And those 9 that don't have empathy won't be able to live in fourth density. And
all right, so are you suggesting that that might be the solution? Humanity's problem having been infiltrated by negative ETs that don't have empathy for others? Could the solution be planetary ascension? Is that what you're saying?
I'm told it is, but I'm also told that we must get these reptilians out of power in order to get the planetary ascension.
All right, let's talk about that for 1 second. Most people in the research community online know that there's kind of a uniparty running the world. There's basically one power structure, one power cabal running the planet. Are you saying that this uniparty that runs the planet is essentially they're all reptilian?
Yes.
Now, there could be different reptilian groups, so there's more than one reptilian group running the world.
Right. In the Middle East, you have the snake reptilians. Reptilians have snake souls. And in the Far East, in Oriental countries like China, Cambodia, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, they have dragon souls. But the draconians are of all those 4 groups, only the draconians have the cloning technology. So initially, when they started this, I'm told around 6,000 years ago, they cloned these 4 groups into humanity and gave them all like sections to control.
Right. Okay.
And they start out with a few clones, and then when the females have children, they make more people that have that reptilian soul.
All right. So let's go from a higher level. You have what? You have Putin still in Russia. You have Trump in the United States. You have, what's his name, Xi in China. Right. And you have many other high-level, I guess, level rulers running the world. Are these all likely reptilian beings, leadership?
Yes. Putin has a lizard soul, and Biden had like a draconian soul.
Okay.
Well, if you notice, the ruling group that was in the United States hated Trump.
Right.
And they tried to do everything they could to keep him from being president. They made him, they stole the one election in 2020. It was obvious to most people that he won the election and they cheated it, so he didn't get it. And somehow he got in the next time and avoided the cheating or whatever. But he has a lizard soul, and that's why they didn't want him in, because he wasn't going to continue the draconian agenda, and he was going to move into the lizard agenda, which is much much better for humanity. They don't go for this climate change hoax. They stop stop the illegals from coming in the country. The draconians wanted to bring all these illegals in and tell them to vote for them and keep them in power.
Right.
But the people kind of saw wise to that and elected Trump, thinking that everything's going to change for the good. Where I think a lot of things will change for the good. As you can see on my shirt, the nightmare has ended. But I don't think everything will change for the good. I think he's still going to support Israel and possibly Ukraine some and whatever. And he might, even though Putin has a lizard soul, he might continue to go against Russia and stuff. And he might have a big problem fighting China, or, with the financial, with the tariffs and that kind of thing. And
well, you seem to be of the same opinion that many share, like someone we follow, Benjamin Fulford. He seems to agree with the sentiment you just gave, which is that Trump is going to be better than Biden. He's going to make a whole lot of great improvements and cut out a lot of the the criminality and the fraud and the money laundering and likely a lot of the evil that was associated with the Biden draconian regime, right? So, but at the same time, Ben Fulford thinks that he's not necessarily the savior that a lot of people make him out to be. Right? A lot of the MAGA people think that Trump is the savior of the United States, maybe of humanity. Ironically, he's a lot of changes and a lot of improvements, but are these, as many claim, like Stu Peters, David Icke, Jeff Berwick, the dollar vigilante, and Max Egan of the Crow House, and many others? They all see what Trump is doing as distracting people by looking over here, look this way. And he's carrying out his own reptilian agenda when everyone's distracted looking at some other things. Do you think that's true?
Yes. Trump wants to rule, and he wants to keep the reptilians in power. But he wants to do things that are better for humanity, so he'll be well liked and can stay in power. While the draconians want to totally enslave us, and they're trying to put in these 15-minute cities and have all the land off limits to humans and horrible crap like that. I mean, this is our planet. Everybody should be able to go everywhere and enjoy everything on the planet. They shouldn't have this group of elites controlling where we go and surveilling us and all that crap that's going on.
It's very interesting.
Stop some of that.
So a lot of people claim that all presidents are bought and paid for, right? Usually they're owned by the same sort of Israel and AIPAC, and the sort of the secret groups they represent. Often, people call them the deep state, the New World Order, the cabal, the Khazarian mafia. What are they called? The Ashkenazi Babylonian Talmudic banking cabal, right? A lot of people think, yeah. So a lot of people think that all these presidents and leaders are bought and paid for. That might be partially true. One thing you're saying is that they're all part of a different, almost race of people. they're not just bought and paid for, they're also non-human. That's what you're saying.
Right. But I'm saying that we can take all these reptilians out of power and put humans in power. I'm trying to expose them as not being human. And if we can somehow get everybody to know that, believe that, and understand that,
Yeah.
and like make a device where we can see auras. They have a camera out that checks aura, that takes pictures of auras at auraphoto.com, but it's real expensive, like $10,000 or something like that. I had my picture taken at a spiritual event in 2013. I still got the papers on it. It showed my aura everywhere. It's basically, it shows the color of the level your soul's at.
Right.
All the way from red to purple. There's yellow, green, blue,
sure.
And all
so maybe
that.
There's a way we can convince people to start considering this truth and begin the research of investigating people's souls with aura cameras. I don't know if that's what you're recommending.
Yeah. If we could take that aura camera and have somebody take a picture of everybody in Congress as they walked in or out, and they would, I think about 5 to 20% of them are human, and 95 to 80 to 95% are reptilian. Maybe we could see the difference, and we could start taking these people out of power. Some reptilians are mass murderers, and some are do very little wrong and want to just like keep their job and make a lot of money.
Right.
But
selfish.
None of them are real good people. Some of them are slightly bad people, and some of them are horrible people.
Well, what I find most interesting and terrifying about the truth you're trying to bring to the world is that most people have no idea what's really going on. They're seeing the politics either as a uniparty or a left-right paradigm, or how everyone's bought and paid for and run by a cabal, or like David Icke will go into great detail about the secret societies behind this cabal, and how there's a massive web of secret power. And ironically, what you're saying is that there's a higher truth that no one understands. There's a higher level reality where we're not even talking about human beings and human problems. We're talking about an extraterrestrial invasion through infiltration into human bodies.
They're disguised as us.
Is so much more complicated, and no one has a clue.
Right. Very few people,
Very few people.
3%.
Ironically, it was David Icke, right?
Yeah, he started the reptilian stuff, but he won't go that level that they got a reptilian soul.
It's so interesting.
He can't get there. He can't get there on that part.
How ironic is it that David Icke was the guy who came out, I think it was back in like the late 80s, or might have been like early 90s or something like that. And he said that the human world, our planet, is run by reptilians. He did. He came out and everyone ridiculed him.
Right, he did. And he also said some other crazy things about him being the son of God or something, and everybody laughed at him.
Yeah,
and
but what he said about reptilians wasn't crazy at all.
He started writing books to explain all this evil stuff going on, but he just couldn't get there to where some of us are humans with human souls,
Right.
and these leaders have reptilian souls. It's a lot simpler, you know?
No, I understand. I'm not trying to criticize him. I'm
No,
actually,
you're not.
I was trying to compliment him because even though he took a whole lot of heat for it and everyone laughed at him, it was David Icke, ironically, who came out and basically nailed it and said that humanity is occupied essentially by an invading or multiple invading species of reptilian. He got it right, but he didn't go further, which is what you're saying.
Right.
You're taking it further. You're saying we're not only invaded by actual extraterrestrials, including reptilians, but these extraterrestrials found a way to get inside our bodies, put their souls inside human bodies. And so that way they've infiltrated humanity and it's invisible. It's a stealth invasion.
It's exactly right. You want to leave it here until next video?
All right, we'll pick it up next video. It's good talking to you, my friend.
Okay, we'll be making more videos. This will be video 1, and we'll make more.
Much love to you and to everyone out there.
And you too.